Hi everyone, it's Killshot99 Gaming. This is The Walking Dead Season 9, Episode 13, Sneak Peek Special. So tonight we're going to talk about the Daryl and Beta battle, but we do know some other things are going to go down in this episode. I've seen a few spoiler picks that are out there, so they're not, obviously the picks don't come with details of everything that happens, but it does shed a little light on what we can expect for this week's episode. So I'm not going to give you spoilers because I don't have them, but I am going to tell you about a couple events that are going to take place in this week's episode. So if that's too much spoilerish, then you have been warned. I don't think it'll ruin the show for you. It's just my honest opinion, but use your own judgment on that. So I want to thank each and every one of you for being here on a Monday night. We're a little bit early tonight. So you guys know that we've been doing double shots, so we got a couple streams. Do want to let you guys know. At 10:10 tonight, we are going to be over on our 999 Dead channel. We're going to be talking Passage. So we got this stream, then we're going to watch Passage, and then we're going to talk Passage. It's winding down. It's a really good show. You guys might want to hang out with us. And then tomorrow night, we got two streams, 8 and 9:30. Wednesday, 8 and 9:30. Thursday, 8 and 9:30. And then we'll see what goes down for Friday and Saturday. So some really, really good themes coming up. Thank you, Fluff. I appreciate that. Hopefully you're having a good night as well. I got to do a couple birthday shout-outs. I want to say happy birthday to Jill McGuire. Appreciate all your support over the years, Jill. And also to William. Where's William the walking billboard? Happy birthday, William. Appreciate you as well. And Ellis, I think you might be onto something. So I've got a theory with that I'm going to throw out there. It might be a bad theory, but with this Highwaymen thing, but I'm just going to throw it out there. But not yet. Because this week is about if 15 is the fair, this week is really the trip to the fair to get everybody set up. So we will get some scenes of what goes on there. There's going to be some action on the roadways. You saw a little bit of that in the sneak peek for next week. And, of course, we do finally get the Daryl and Beta fight. So we're going to start out with that. I mean, Daryl says, who's a big one? And then you want to kill him first. But Lydia's given some information. So we know Lydia is, she's good to go. So how do you guys think this is going to play out? You think Daryl's going to get the upper hand? You think Beta's going to get the upper hand? You think it's going to be a draw? We're running out of time for them to fight and fight. I mean, there's only so many times they can fight in the last few episodes. There's only 4 episodes left. So we got to start getting down to some adventure, some action. Damon says Beta will win first. Draw. I think they're going to be interrupted. Now, Connie and Henry, or not Connie, I'm sorry, Lydia and Henry are conveniently missing from some of the spoiler picks. And I've seen about 20 of the picks. Now, some of them are in this little building right here. And as you guys know, I mean, you saw it from the trailer, there's like a piece of plastic hanging down, looks like a construction site, and Beta walks in, and then him and Daryl, bam, they go at it. So from what we've seen, it looks like, they're in this little town area. There's some construction going on, and Daryl's trying to bait him in there. And I think Daryl thinks that he can probably take him, but he's going to get a rude awakening, like Rick Rude style rude awakening. But I have not seen pictures of Daryl over the next couple episodes. Now, there is one very interesting picture that we have seen with Beta. Alpha, Beta, and the Whispers outside the kingdom. So is it possible that Daryl gets not died, but is it possible that Daryl gets taken out? Daryl gets injured? Wilson's got it, Beta 1, Daryl 0. So if it's a draw, then it's going to be one of those cases where Daryl could get back and warn the kingdom. But I'm just worrying about a scenario where I've seen Beta, I haven't seen Daryl, so it's either going to be a draw or Daryl's going to lose. Beta is definitely not going to lose because beta is going to be with alpha very soon. You guys know what I'm talking about. You know the scene I'm talking about. Now, before we get to that, beta is very protective of alpha and the Whispers and their entire group. So what you didn't really see is the aftermath. You know, obviously, beta lost a lot of people. And what we saw was beta marching in and Daryl taking out a couple walkers in the sneak peek. But before that ever happens, you're going to see beta's blood start to boil. He is irate. Now, we don't see alpha on that, so beta takes a group and he's going after Daryl. Now, what alpha's doing, protecting her people, getting a group together, that remains to be seen. But beta immediately gets a group of people and just hunts him down. Now, you guys know when somebody's fired up, they're going to take it to a whole different level. So I would not want to be on the receiving end of that. So, this week's episode, I think, is it called Chokehold? Is that correct, everybody? Want to make sure. So, the word that's out there, choke point. Sorry, chokehold. You guys know where I'm going with that. Somebody said chokehold. Chokeholds are illegal. Choke point. My bad. We initially thought, or it was kind of rumored out there, that symbol on the back of the sign, you know, people said it was a K. People said it's, a headless person, a stick figure. But now we're starting to hear that it could be a choke point. That there are 4 different points that feed into this one area. How do you guys feel about that? You kind of got west, east, southeast, and southwest. And they all sort of merge into that one little spot. Just something to kind of think about. All right. Yeah, draw it out, and then you'll see. It does make sense. Could be Alexandria. Could be Kingdom. I mean, all feeding into one area. So, I'm just going to throw this out there. This may be one of the wildest theories you've ever heard, and it could be completely wrong. But I do want to talk through a little bit of what we might experience in episode 14. Is it possible that these highwaymen have been out there for a while, and that's part of the disagreement with the kingdom? Now, I'm not going to say it's that Daryl and Michonne paid the price with, like, organs or kidneys or whatever. You know, I'm not saying that. But if it's dark, could this be some kind of easy pass? Could this be some kind of mark from the highwaymen that lets them pass? I mean, I'm just thinking out loud. Because we don't know. And if something comes out of it, I mean, it's not like they got little, key cards where you can pass. Is it possible they got branded by these highwaymen and that's like a tattoo that, hey, you got this tattoo, you can pass or you can't pass? I mean, their bridge was destroyed. So, maybe it's, I don't want to get too philosophical and too religious. People will be like, oh, it's the mark of the beast or whatever. All I'm saying is we don't have a currency. So is it possible that, hey, you trade with us or you do something, Sorry, that's branding. That's skin burning. My sound effects are a little off, but you get what I'm saying. And if it is a branding, then it's like, hey, I need to pass. All right, you're good. You paid your dues. Just something I want you to think about. Because I just think it's too convenient that we're going to meet these highwaymen out of the blue, and then we're going to go to a backstory. William, the walking billboard, says, I don't see Michonne or Daryl giving into that. Well, they had to give in to something. William, I don't see them being overpowered. Like, I'm trying to visualize something where people in Alexandria and Michonne and Daryl, they're tortured. I don't see that. I see these marks as being a negotiation, a trade, or a symbol. I just find it hard to believe that Michonne and Daryl would have both been abused, because they, to me, seem like the kind of people, they're either going to fight or they're going to pay a price. Part of the negotiation. Fluff Super Chatting wants to know, do the highwaymen live on Easy Street? Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because Daryl was tortured with Easy Street, and I think it's because of that type of thing, Fluff, that Daryl is not going to be, I don't think he's going to give in. Yeah, I don't feel like it's Whisper related. I mean, look, there's a letter to Ezekiel and Carol with that mark on it. There's a sign there, and there's people talking about paying a toll. So the toll is real. There is another group floating around out there. So Joe Fulford, Super Chat, says, okay, I'm lost here. Who are these highwaymen you're talking about? We don't have it confirmed. We see a dude with a beard and a horse giving Jerry the stare down. So he was speculated to be a highwayman, the cowboy hat dude. When Ezekiel and everybody goes for the bulb, we see the symbol. Then we see in a sneak peek this week a letter, and we hear reference of a toll. So I don't think you can just throw a highwayman story out there. Well, Drama King, that's my point. Drama King says highwayman storyline is a bit much at the moment. This is why I think that they've been around for a while. I don't think it's going to be like Oceanside where they're just there, or The Kingdom where we introduced. I think what they have to do is we're going to find out that this group has been there, and then at the end of this week, we're all going to be like, wait a minute. How long have these guys been there? What the hell's been going on with them? And then they go back to the flashback in 14, and we find out about these X's and these marks, and that there's another group out there that's been out there for a while. So I do think, Drama, to your point, if they only show them in this episode and we don't know anything about them, I think it is much. If they kind of take us back in time for a little bit and we realize that, they've been there and they've been, they're responsible for when all these groups split up and there's problems, then I can kind of buy into it. But I don't think Ezekiel's just getting this random letter and he doesn't know who they are. I think he knows exactly who they are. Jerry, I feel like he is. I know there's been a lot of speculation about the cowboy, whether he was a whisperer or whether we knew him. Jerry does a double take like he knows him. I feel like he's one of the Highwaymen. And the question that I have, if they're demanding tolls, what type of thing is being traded? I mean, here, look, in today's day and age, if somebody sends you a ransom letter, you're going to pay them in cash, more than likely. There is no cash in The Walking Dead. So what do you think, when he's talking about paying, what do you think he's talking about? Food, exactly. So, food, horses, resources. So that's why I wanted to throw my theory out there about Michonne and Daryl getting the X's, they paid their toll, and now they're free to pass. They kind of got branded. They got the mark. I'm not saying it's right. I just, it's just something that came across my mind that I want to talk about out loud. I don't need you to agree with me. You can say, hey, it's a dumb idea. I don't like it. I'm cool with that. But it just started making more sense to me when I thought in the context of, well, why are they just introducing a random group in episode 13 that we don't know anything about? Well, we're going to find out more about them, I think, in 14, but the problem is we're going to find out after, but it's really before, and that's the beauty of a time skip. I mean, I'm driving myself crazy trying to figure out what these X's are. So I got to come up with something. It didn't look like they were trading organs. It didn't look like it was like a black market for that. It looked like just a mark, just a branding. They paid for something somehow, and this is how they let people know. Because look, not everybody's going to walk around and just brand themselves, so it's got to be pretty important. William, the Walking Dead billboard says, "Keep bringing on the new groups. I'll be watching when I'm Herschel's age. Let's go, season 20." I hope they do it, man. I hope they do it. I'll be right here with you. Thank you, Casey. Appreciate that. Well, see, Lynn Nesvik, that's the thing. Lynn says, I don't know. All of a sudden, everyone's got these boundaries. See, it's not all of a sudden. It's 6 years in the making. That's why I feel like they have to have originated before the big time skip. And we don't know how far back this is going to go. So let me remind everybody. All right, 14 is going to be the flashback scene. It doesn't mean that they're going back 6 years. They could go back 2 years or 4 years to get to the point of where they're at. So I think there's the assumption is, okay, they're going all the way back to when Michonne was pregnant. No, that's something that's been talked about. But they could just go back and find out about the scars and find out about the Highwaymen. American Pride says, your theory does seem to tie the loose ends together, X issues with the other communities. The writers cannot be, to Drama King's point, and I'll use the word shallow, these writers are good. They cannot be shallow and think like, okay, we're in the middle of the Whisperer War, we're getting ready to have a fair, oh, let's just introduce a brand new group right before all this happens. I don't buy that. So, yes, Joe Fulford, the flashback should clear up the scars. They should clear up what went down. So let's think about what went down. What could be seen in episode 14? And I do want to get back to 13 as well. So Ecom says, do we know why Daryl has a scar on his face now? Was that Lydia? I didn't see what happened. I saw the scar on his face. But I have to go back. Did Lydia mark him with that thing she took out of the wall when she reached there? I don't think I saw the scar over his eye. I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe I didn't get a close-up of him. But I thought he didn't have the scar, and then when she reached out, yeah, she reached out with the hook. That's what I thought. Go back and watch those two scenes. I've watched it like 3 times. So I think it was Lydia. She hooked him. Yeah, I thought she reached out and got him in the eye. But anyway, I mean, that would have been some nice work there. Daryl does have a lot of scars. Hey, like I said, it's just something. It's a little bit of speculation. Drama King, like Terminus, Highwaymen, not in the comics. To go on. So somebody had asked about this flashback. So let's talk about, and we can, you know what, we can make this a full stream tomorrow night if you guys want to, because I think there's so much to talk about with that episode. But I do want to touch on a couple questions. And I don't know if we'll see Jesus in the flashback. But think about all the stuff that's happened in 6 years. Tara left. She had to have a reason to leave. Oceanside's not there anymore. They left. The Saviors were out there being renegades. And we ultimately saw the Saviors attack Carol. So there's a rogue group of Saviors out there. Daryl Michonne got the scars. Daryl's been out there looking for Rick's body for a long, long time. Judith grew up. Negan's been in jail. So all of those things have happened. Maggie left recently, but Maggie was there for 4 or 5 years, and then she left. The Whispers had to form. They didn't just get that big overnight. I mean, they've probably been out there for a couple years, or at least somewhere around there for a couple years. And Julia Muse, I don't know if the Highwaymen is confirmed. I think it's just what people are calling them. Kind of like Jadis's group. But they can't just introduce a brand new group when we're in the middle of the Whisper storyline. It just doesn't make sense. So, you know what? We got a couple hundred people here. I'll take a quick survey. If you guys are on board with that, if you think these X's could be some form of branding from the Highwaymen that basically signifies that the toll is paid, then give me a quick yes in chat. If you think it's something else and you have a better theory, give me a quick no. Those of you watching the playback, type it in the comments. Comments. Type it in the comics. I've been reading a lot of comics lately. Oh, come on, Jim. You can't give me a maybe. I might, you know what? I might get 60% of the audience to buy into that. You know, when it first came out, people were like, somebody attacked Michonne and they took her organs, and then, you know, when they found out it was Daryl, then they were like, and then they took Daryl's organ, and they're like, wait a minute, they're taking everybody. I mean, there's been some crazy stuff out there. I just didn't look like a scar to me. Looked like a brand, just looked like a mark. Julia Muse wants it to be self-inflicted. You know, Michonne and Daryl over a couple drinks, like, hey, let me see your tattoo. Hey, check out mine. My ex is a little bit longer than yours. Part of the punishment. Punishment from who? Who punished them? I don't know. I'm just struggling to figure out who would punish Michonne and Daryl. That to me seems like more unbelievable. So here's my question. All right, and honestly, if the Highwaymen punished Michonne and Daryl, how many people in his chat think that they would just be ignored and be allowed to live for the next 4 or 5 years? See, that's what I'm struggling with. I'm going to tell you, if any group went in and punished Daryl, you better rest assured every one of them would have been killed. There's no way this was a torture or a punishment for crossing their territory. There's no way. Come on, people. This is, I don't care how much you punch. I'm going to kill him, some bitch. Hey, come on. This is Daryl. When did Daryl lose his balls? I mean, you don't punish Daryl Dixon. This is something that he allowed to happen. Crazy B, they could be a huge group. Doesn't matter. The Whispers are a huge group. This is the same person. You see how big the Whispers are? Daryl just led a whole bunch of walkers in there. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. If somebody got the best of Michonne, somebody got the best of Daryl, they ain't writing toll letters. At least they're not writing them with their hands. Daryl would have cut their hands off. You guys know how Daryl rolls. American Pride. Hey, just super chatting it. Give me a follow-up comment. William, no one punished them. This has to be a thing between these two. I'm sticking with that. Like a bond. Hey, I'm okay. I mean, if you guys, but give me a rationale. Why did they brand each other? I'm down with it, but you gotta give me a reason. I'm not reading your comment. You know what? If you want to say because to remember Rick and because of the rebar, because the rebar Rick. Fair enough. All right. That works. I like it because, in all honesty, when we first saw it, that's the first thing I said. It's the first thing we talked about was, and when I brought that up, people were saying like, well, they didn't know what happened to Rick. They couldn't see that Rick got hit with the rebar. I liked it, but I don't know. I'm backtracking a little bit because of these Highwaymen. I just don't feel like these Highwaymen are going to be randomly thrown out there at us. All right. Couple other things that we're going to see in episode 13. Before we get to that, we got American Pride says, Had to have happened when they were out roaming, maybe looking for Rick. That's why Michonne is all about the lockdown. Well, we're going to find out in 2 weeks. So I do think that we're going to need a flashback stream because obviously there's some very strong opinions with this. So we'll table that until tomorrow night. So we're going to wind us down just in a couple minutes, but I do want to bring up a couple more things that we're going to see in episode 13. Obviously, we've gotten our opinion out there with the Daryl and Beta fight. But we have Earl and Tammy are making their way. This is the prelude to the Red Fair. Now, we've been predicting this for a while, the way this is going to happen. So we said in 13, they would be setting up the fair and people would be traveling. We made that prediction a while back. And I am proud to tell you, me, were absolutely correct. In 13, they are setting up the fair. 14 is the flashback, which means 15 is where it will all go down. So we got a couple weeks. We will finally get some death. So this is what we see this week. We see Earl and Tammy. They are making their way to the fair. We see the group from Alexandria. They're taking some goods to the fair. We see Carol and Nabila. They're setting up some of the flags at the fair. So we're going to get, I think, exactly what we want. And I did predict that 13 would have a cliffhanger. Something is going to go down at the fair. And I think, you know what I think 13 is going to be? Where it's going to end? I got the perfect scene for it to end. And let me know what you guys think about this. The Beta and Alpha scene, where there's a few whispers out there, and Alpha puts her hand over her mouth where she goes, shh. I think that will be the last thing that we will see in this week's episode. And we're going to know that they're getting ready to go into the kingdom. And then we're going to have to watch 14 and get our questions answered. And then we'll know that there's going to be a party crashed at the fair. All right, so we got Irish Dave Doherty says, just wanted to let all know I was way off. Just wanted to let... Had baby. So you weren't expecting a baby. You had the baby. She had the baby. Congratulations. And we got Bamber Kitty. They did dirty work for the Highwaymen. But they still got marked. Yeah. I'm going to put some more thought into this. American Pride. Congratulations, new dad. Did we name him? We call him Dave Killshot Doherty. I'm hoping I at least got a middle name in there somewhere. Ecom, you think Daryl's missing wing is part of the puzzle? No, I think Daryl's missing wing is his jacket is really old. Like 6 years older than it was last time we saw it. William Finney, Super Chat. Wanted to wait till the end. Happy birthday, Jill, and thank you guys for all the birthday wishes. You guys are the best. I couldn't keep up with all the comments today. This is 99 Army. Wait until episode 15 and we do a reaction video, William, and there's about 2,000 people in the stream in the reaction. It is crazy. It is very, very hard to keep up in those. And, hey, congratulations again, Dave, on a serious note, though. And since it's a girl, I'm glad you did not name her Killshot. Mark says, sorry, but Alpha beheading the girl... Alpha's not physically strong enough to do that. Oh, Alpha's strong, man. I wouldn't put it against Alpha. Passage is on 999 Dad, Rob. All right, we are at 35 minutes, everybody. So once again, my bold prediction. Actually, we'll do bold predictions during the week, but just kind of let that go in your mind a little bit. That this week's episode will probably end with Alpha and Beta, and then we go back and we find out in 14, and they make us wait 2 weeks, and then we get to 15 for. You guys know what I'm going to ask for. Everybody do me a big favor. Give me hashtag TWD Red Fair. I want to see it. I want to hear Chris Hardwick say it. I want to see it trending. I want AMC to acknowledge it. Everybody's going to know, and you're going to start seeing YouTube videos of the Red Fair. It rolls off the tongue. So do me a big favor. Everybody get that going. We're going to wind this thing down. I do want to give some shout-outs and say thanks to all the patrons in the top left-hand corner. Also, you guys can see the channel members, also the sponsors in the top right-hand corner, the moderators, Emmy, Steph, Tommy, Kells. Keep in mind the new membership emojis. So if we unlock 5 more memberships, we will be able to get the Steph Cuervo Queen custom emoji. If you guys do me a favor, all the people in green, if you guys could just give me the man bun emoji. Just for Tommy the Man Bun McCandless. He was the first moderator that got unlocked. Those of you watching the playback at home, make sure you leave some comments. And, of course, there's Wilson. Wilson showing all the brand new emojis. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. And we have added a lot of new patrons, a lot of new sponsors, so you guys are wonderful. And what do we have? We had a lot of super chats tonight, too. So if you guys don't mind, I'm going to shout out the super chatters. Thanks for your thoughts, your comments, keeping the conversation lively and fresh. We got Rob Metcalf super chatting at William, the 909 Walking Billboard, Fluff, Salisbury, Joe Fulford, Drama King, American Pride, Ecom. Who else we got? We got Irish Dave Doherty, Bamber Kitty, and a couple people did multiple super chats. So thank you guys. Appreciate all of that. And everybody else in the 909 Army, do me a big favor. I see Greg. Give me a quick 999. Joe Fulford, thank you so much. Bamber Kitty super chatting it. They branded each other. Crossed the line. I like that. Bamber, save that thought because we're going to talk about that flashback. And we'll do an official X stream tomorrow night because I know you guys got some wonderful, wonderful ideas. And we've tabled it for a while. We want to get a few more details, but I think tomorrow night's a good night to talk about that. Kimberly and Ramona Heath, Ecom, 1189 Paris, thank you so much. Crystal Singer Chick, Angie Homan, appreciate you. Natalie, good to see you. Jim 09 as well. Viola McGowan. Wilson, thank you so much. Lisa Calisi, Amy Ferrero, Mitch True Puddin, GW Painter, Oh One-Eyed Carl, thank you. Damon DeRizio, Deborah Johnson, Mark Jacob. Delmarva, 1971. Donnie Thompson, Bumblebee Brown, Leanne Gash, Robin Vance, Michael Curie, Tanya Dockstader, Chris Rainick, Aaron P. Have a good night. Madison Dickey, thank you. Samantha Coombs, Bando Bandit, Coachella Coastal, thank you. Daryl Stoltz, Ollie Smith, thank you so much. You guys all do me a favor. It's like 300 people in here. Everybody hit that like button before you leave. Don't forget, just kind of pop that like button, give it a thumbs up, talk about the video, share it, get people over here. We want to talk more Walking Dead. And also, if you're brand new, subscribe to the channel. We've got a ton of new subs over the last couple weeks back on 909 Gaming. We're going to do our push for 100,000. So I think we're going to make it by June. That's my goal. Mike Reiser, thank you so much for being here. Glenda Batista, Aiden 730, thank you so much. All right, everybody. And on that note, Little Chi, thank you. Who else we got? If I'm missing a shout-out, guys, I'll catch you in the next one. We are going to do Passage over on the 909 Dead channel, and that is going to be at 10:10 after the TV show. And for those Walking Dead fans, I'll see you all here tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. Peace.